back to the Social Security edition of Winning Isn't Easy. So what happens if you don't meet a listing, and where does the case go next? Now, if your physical or mental impairment doesn't match an impairment in the listings, or there is no listing, you can still qualify for your benefits at steps 4 and 5 of the 5-step sequential evaluation. Again, you have to prove that you're unable to perform your past relevant work, the simplest and lightest job you held in the 5 years before the disability determination is made. And at step 5, whether or not you're unable to perform other work in the mythical, hypothetical national economy in view of your age, education, experience, and restrictions and limitations. If you meet that listing, you're automatically entitled to benefits, but 2/3 of the, well, I would say 90% of the time, people just don't meet a listing. What's important here, again, is asking your doctor to complete a residual functional capacity form for the applicable medical condition that you have. Not a letter that says you're disabled, that you can't work, you're a good guy, good girl, you've worked hard all your life, and you should be awarded your benefits. You can hear in what I'm saying to you that your physician's role in determining whether or not the impairment meets a listing or filling out the residual functional capacity form is crucial. Now, Social Security does consider the opinion of your physician as a treating physician as a source of medical evidence. They're going to consider their opinion, so long, of course, as the opinion is consistent with the medical evidence. We want the doctor to address the elements of the listing, and we want them to address your residual functional capacity. And that is important because we're talking about your ability to sit, stand, stoop, walk, bend, your ability to use your hands in a bilateral manner, your need for breaks, your need to be close to a restroom, your ability to stoop, to bend, any environmental restrictions and limitations, your ability to meet the pace and production requirements, your ability to meet the attendance requirements. And that form is really crucial. I think it is very important before you stop work and apply for benefits that you talk to your doctor to see whether or not, one, they support your claim and they are willing to fill out a residual functional capacity form. It might be that they say, hey, I don't support your claim, I don't fill out forms. That can be, can really result in a claim denial. So there are times when I tell my clients, look, I want you to go find another doctor who will support your claim. I want you to start treating them. Once the doctor says, you should stop work, then let's apply for benefits, stop work, and we will go from there. You can't sort of do this, if you will, after the fact. You can't stop work and then have have a new doctor retroactively take you out of work. Social Security frowns on that. So we want to have the contemporaneous medical records that establish that you are unable to work as of the date we claim that you are disabled. Social Security is going to look at those records and say, well, geez, he worked yesterday, didn't work today. What happened? Where is it in the medical records that establish the objective findings that document their inability to do their past work or other work? And so you might want to, at that point, consider hiring a Social Security lawyer who can make recommendations about physicians in your community that they know are supportive of Social Security claims and are willing to fill out forms. Again, this is going to take teamwork. If we have a situation where we have a client who's gets treated at the VA, we know that the VA doctors do not fill out forms despite the regulations that require them to do so. And we've got to rely on the sufficiency of the records. And for those veterans who have ever read their medical records, you can see there's not a lot of substance, if you will, to those records in terms of symptoms, functionality, diagnostic studies. There are many times when I want my veteran clients to get their C&P exams, their rating letters, and we submit them. Now, the Social Security Administration is not bound by them because there's a different standard of disability, but the findings in the C&P exam findings are very detailed and can help establish the elements of a listing, or more importantly, can be the basis for establishing restrictions and limitations. Got it? Well, I hope you've enjoyed this week's episode. Please like this page, leave a review, share it with your family or friends, and subscribe to this podcast. That way, you're going to be notified every time a new episode comes out, and we will be hanging out together. In future episodes, we're going to be asking for you to make comments and input so that we can do a frequently asked question episode. So we'll be giving you more information about how to do that in upcoming episodes. Thanks. Take care. And by the way, in next week's episode, I'm going to talk about more about steps 4 and 5 so that you know what you need to do to win your Social Security disability claim. Got it? Thanks.